Well, welcome back. This is Joe Beauchamp. We are on the International Leadership Podcast. This is episode 12. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're joined by our very special guest, Matthew Rivera. Matthew Rivera is a multipreneur. We're just making up that name. He is the president of MJM Ultimate Services Incorporated, and also runs several other franchises. Matt, why don't you say hello and greet our listening audience?
Hello, everybody. Joe, thank you for having me on. I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to see what we get into today.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. So Matt and I have known each other for probably maybe 5 years now.
I think 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
It was before COVID, right? So
I feel like it was, yeah, right. It was definitely in the 5-year mark.
Yeah. All right. So somewhere around there. So some number of years we've known each other. Matt is not just a multipreneur owning multiple companies, also a community leader, somebody who people look up to and respect in our community. Business leader. He's also a Maxwell Leadership certified trainer, speaker, and coach, similar to how I'm certified, although he uses his primarily for his business. So Matt, just tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how'd you get to where you are today? Just give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Well, where I am today, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have told you I'd be here today. I was a union lineman. I worked for primarily subcontractors that did utility work. I like to say it's the best job in the world. I did that for, right out of high school for about 10 years. And then I don't know if I just got bored. I needed something else. The money was great, had a family, had kids, but just something was calling me to say, hey, you're not satisfied with what you're doing. So I started taking classes on the side. I went out and got like my associates. I took some business classes, and I opened up a couple of little businesses that all failed. And then I opened up a
Most
home
businesses
inspection
do.
company. Yep. And then the home inspection company was like the catalyst.
Gotcha.
When you're in the utility world, especially as a lineman, the biggest hurdle is you never could find a replacement because you make a lot of money. It's
Right.
it's a big mindset. You work for overtime, you work for this. So, if you're making 200 grand a year, it's hard to say, hey, I'm going to start a business and make 200 grand a year, because you're not.
Right.
So it's like you look for part-time work, you do stuff on the side, but you're always working for overtime, so it never really works out.
Right.
So
There's no
being a
time on
home
the side.
inspector, yeah, because you want to make the big money. But then
Right.
being a home inspector gave me like the best of both worlds. I was able to do home inspections, which was, day and night or weekend. And when someone wants a home inspection, they want it right away.
Right.
So I would get it done. And then when I was working. And I would say about 6 to 8 months after I got my home inspection license, I read a book, Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
by Napoleon Hill. And there was a chapter about like burning the bridges and just going for it. And it like hit me. And I remember
Yeah.
walking into work and saying, hey, look, May 13th, it was like probably December. I was like, May 13th, I'm quitting. And my boss was like, what do you mean you're quitting? And I was like, yeah, that's my last day. I'm going to go be a home inspector. And he laughed at me. And for like the next 5 months, it was kind of a running joke, emotional roller coaster. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And then May 13th, I just stopped going to work. Literally
So now, are you just
didn't burn
making
the
May 13th
bridges.
because today's May 13th, or was it actually May 13th?
Oh my God. No, it was today, 2017. I didn't even
That's
realize
awesome.
that. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's like
May
divine
13th.
intervention.
13th is like my lucky number, so I always do things on the 13th.
Yeah.
Unless, but it was that's kind of funny. Yeah, so I ended up leaving. On paper, it was probably the worst decision someone could make. The home inspection company wasn't even doing like $2,000 a month, and I was giving up, a business job that I was making probably 25K a month. But I'm still here, so it worked. So the best and worst decision of my life was made that day, today.
Right. Yeah. So
9 years ago.
nine
Look at
nine
that.
years ago
Oh my
today.
God.
That's
9 years
awesome.
ago.
Congratulations on 9 years of entrepreneurial life. That roller coaster that you mentioned, like there's so two things. You feel this internal calling. I want more. I can do more. Like this same everyday job is just not really cutting it for me. Like you felt like you were called to a higher purpose in life. You needed to do something bigger, greater, beyond the average or the mundane. And but taking that leap into um, into the unknown, really, like it's scary. Most businesses fail, right? So I think it's about the 5 year mark that like 50% of businesses are toast in that 5 year mark. So you've made it past there, and you've been living the entrepreneurial life. You've definitely doubled down, triple, quadrupled down on this entrepreneurial life. I'm not sure that I know many people who own more businesses than you do. Tell us a little bit about some of the businesses that you own right now that you're currently operating.
So, it's been a journey. I actually don't own the home inspection company no more. Um, I own AUS, which is Advanced Utility Solutions. That's a flagging company. We do work for the utility companies, road construction companies, where we supply manpower that does traffic control flagging. I would say that's the biggest company. It's about 5, 6 years. Actually, you know what? It's 6 years old because the logo says 2020. So we're 6 years old.
6 years old, yeah.
Um, we grew really fast. We made a lot of mistakes. We slowed down, and now we're back to growing again.
Good.
Um, because of that, one of the big niches in the utility world, government work, big construction jobs is minority work. A lot of big contracts require a certain percentage to be women-owned minority. So we just seen a void there, and I opened up MJM Ultimate Services. That company is, I guess you could say, it's the oldest, newest company. The reason I say that is because that's actually the first company I opened up in 2015, but we turned it over now to what it is. But it is again, we do traffic control, we do security work, and we do PPE supplying for companies. So any type of PPE or equipment they need, we'll supply. We just got the security license like 4 months ago, which is kind of in line with what the flagging is. It's applying manpower. Um, so
Right.
those are the two, I would say, bigger companies, and they're what my main focus will be. If you say, hey, where are you going to be in 10 years? It's going to be in those two lanes. And then
Yeah.
I own some franchises. We did Zoom and Grooming. I'm an area rep, which means I own Long Island as an area rep or area developer, and Connecticut. I actually have two personal franchises that I run out of the office here. So I have two Zoom and Grooming, which is a mobile dog grooming truck. But I'm also developing Long Island and Connecticut. And then I have a Kona Ice truck. Kona Ice is, I guess you could say, my passion project. It's really just handing out smiles. It was
Yeah.
something that I fell in love with. It was low cost. I can't say it's a money maker yet. We're not losing money, but just being able to give back to the community, help people out. I'm probably the
Sounds fun.
worst Kona Ice owner because I'm giving so much away for free. But it feels good.
Yeah, that's great. So let's go with your target market. So we've got, at this point, there's about 180,000 subscribers from all over the country and about 50 countries around the world that are subscribing to the American Business Podcast channel, of which the International Leadership Podcast is on that channel. So we're going to get, a couple thousand views from all over the place. So who would be your target market? Like if somebody says, let's say for the flagging, is that mostly government contracts, or do construction companies need you? Who's a good person
So
that would say, hey,
so
let me contact Matt Rivera?
our target market is actually the contractors that are winning the government work or the road construction or the big work. We're generally not the prime contractor. We're the sub for them. So we're
Okay.
looking for, again, utility companies, the big Asplins, Hawkeyes, Hoglins, all the big utility companies. They win the work, and there's usually a little portion that goes towards the flagging work.
Right.
Same thing for the security. Across New York City, New York State, there's a lot of big companies. They win a big construction job. They need 2 or 3 security guards. That's the target market. So the project managers and the people that run these, that are winning these big jobs, the estimators and the planners, they're our target market because we want to come in, help them if they want to use the minority company, help them get their minority spend, or just be that contractor that could help them get the work done.
Right. Awesome. So Matt Rivera, the name sounds and what, how would somebody contact you if they're like, what, let me give him a shot. I see him, he sounds like a good guy. They do quality work. I'm going to say that, top-notch quality level work, on time delivery, like you meet all the standards, you got all the licenses and everything like that. So how does somebody reach out to you to get in touch with you?
Easiest way is the website, MJM Ultimate. That has all my direct contact. That everything goes to me. You could also email me, Matt Rivera at mjmhomeservice.com. But the website or the email is definitely the easiest way. But I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have my phone in my hand 24/7. So if you contact me on anything, you will get a response.
Yeah, I can verify that as true. You've come out for me. As a matter of fact, we had an event with Rotary. We had it for students and Interact clubs in high schools. And Matt, you supplied some staff and some reflective vests for safety for the staff for that event. So appreciate that. Thank you so much for showing up. And it really was a couple of text messages like, sure, I'll be there. I'll get people there. You were on vacation at the time, somewhere beautiful, and you still got people to show up to my event. So I super appreciate that. So thank you so much for that. So anybody that needs, any of the contractor work for big construction projects, New York City, Long Island, how far out of the city do you go? Westchester, upstate?
We're all in
How
New
far
York State.
up do you go?
We go all the way up.
All in New York State.
All in New
Okay,
York State.
good. Any other states?
Not yet. Next year we could talk about that, but right now we're just New York State.
All right. So anywhere in New York State, if you're listening in and you are that contractor and you want flaggers, you need security personnel, PPE, what else they need from you?
Anything. We like making it work. If they got a problem and we could help them solve it, we'll solve it.
All right. So manpower for a lot of different roles with that. Give a holler out to Matt Rivera. Find him on any type of social media or anything, mjmultimate.com, or email him at mattrivera@mjmhomeservice.com. So awesome. So tell us a little bit about, the Zoom and grooming. So that's all of Long Island and all of Connecticut. So Zoom and grooming. So anybody who's listening in Long Island or Connecticut that has a dog, do you groom any other animals or just dogs? Do you do cats too, or?
So again, it's a franchise. My location does dogs and cats. Some of the other locations in Long Island and Connecticut does dogs, cats, and some other. We've done some crazy things. There's been some farms that have some requests. I don't want to say we're good at it, but I say again, we try to solve problems. So sometimes we don't say no when we should.
Okay. So I know some people own pigs. I know somebody cat owns some cattle or mini cows or mini horses or
Yeah,
other types of animals like that. So I guess
yeah.
call them up and find out if it's a yes or a no, a yay or a nay. Um, so figure that out. All right, and then Kona Ice. That's kind of a recent one. That's kind of a fun. I see you all over the place. A lot of nonprofit events that you're at. I don't want to tell everybody, hey, call Matt for free. Go to Ice at your event. But you would do parties and stuff like that as well.
So Kona Ice is a franchise, so it's a little bit harder because there are territories. So my territory is Patchogue, Medford, Sayville, Bohemia. But on Long Island there's only four of us, so there's a lot of free game.
Okay.
And we all do work together. But honestly, when someone asks can for me to donate flaggers, it's a lot harder, because they're union employees, they get paid a lot of money. So for me to donate a flagger, two flaggers, you're talking $1,000 a day, and they get paid the day, even if they only work an hour.
Yeah.
Kona Ice is so easy because I'll be like, hey, you know what? Free ice is for everybody, and it cost me $50 or $100. So that's why the nonprofits and everything. It's a lot easier for me to say, hey, look, we'll show up and do free ices or discounted ices or give a give back with Kona Ice than the other stuff I do.
Yeah. All
I
right.
would
So
love
listen,
to give back on
we're not
everything.
promoting free stuff.
We're
Listen,
not,
if you
we're
have
not, but
money,
it's
you want to pay
easier.
Matt Rivera, hire him, pay for services, right? We're not trying to use the market to get a bunch of free stuff out around New York State. Next thing you know, you're tank business, right? So,
Yeah.
I've seen people post, listen, if you're, instead of asking for hey, I know the owner discount, you should be like, I know the owner, I'm paying full price. And
Yeah,
I just want
that
to do
don't happen in New York.
it should happen. And let me just tell you this: my son Wesley. So I have an event every year. You've been to it, uh, Live to Lead, coming up in January. So my son Wesley pays for his ticket. He's my son. He pays full price. He didn't even get a discount. He went online.
That's
He bought a ticket. I saw the registration come through. I'm like, Wesley, I was just giving you a ticket. He's like, no. He goes, no, I wanted to pay for it, and he paid full price. Didn't ask for a discount. Other people are like, hey, what kind of discount can I get? Right. So
You did
do the
good.
right
You
thing,
did
pay the
good.
price. You want to support small businesses, and honestly, listen, you're the person to support because you're in the community, you're a member of the community, you're developing the community, you're adding value to the community, you're giving back. You're the right person, you're the right family that we want to be supporting. You're a family man, you got kids, wife, you're doing the right thing. You're definitely somebody to look up to in the community. I look up to you. I appreciate you. You've
I
helped me out
appreciate it.
tremendously numerous times. Uh, doors. So those are the characteristics of somebody that we should look up to in the community. We should be paying you full price for everything and doing what we can to support local businesses. So
I appreciate
so
it.
yeah. So listen, if you have a dog or cat or another animal that needs to get groomed, contact can they contact you at the mjmultimate.com as well for
They
that?
could contact. It all
Zoom and
goes to
grooming.
me. They could
All
contact
right.
me. Yep.
All right. So Zoom and grooming, you can go there. Kona Ice, you need ice for flavored ice delivered to a party or an event. Definitely, if it's in the area or not, he'll figure it out.
We'll
Contact Matt
figure it out.
Rivera.
We like handing out smiles.
Yeah, handing out smiles. It's a lot of fun. Um, it's amazing shaving some ice and putting some colored sugar water on it with a little bit of flavoring in there, and kids are
That's
thrilled.
it.
Yeah, mouths roll red or blue or whatever dripping down their clothing, but it's a lot of fun. So, all right. So, the entrepreneurial life, it's not for everybody. There's ups, there's downs. The story of success is very similar amongst so many people. And that is, I had this idea, I teetered on the edge of disaster for an extremely long and uncomfortable period of time. And then I started to get some momentum because I stuck it out longer than most people would stomach. Right. So, tell us about some of your journey. What was some of the biggest challenges you've faced over the years, and how did you overcome those other than just sheer grit? Welcome to America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. My name is Joe Beauchamp. I'm one of the founding members here. I'm also the chair of the leadership committee. I'm here to help leaders develop strategies. My company is Beauchamp Team Growth Solutions. We help business owners and business leaders to develop their leadership skills, the leadership skills of their team. We know that better leaders get better results, and we provide that leadership strategy, training, and education for business leaders to run their companies better. Hope you can join us at the America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce. I look forward to seeing you soon. How did you overcome those, other than just sheer grit?
A lot of it is grit and being hard-headed. Just going. I when you just said that, like, there's been certain times, having a coach, having mentors, having people. That's how I got through a lot of it. Like right now, again, every step of the way in business, there's other people going through it. Whether you just started, you're hitting your first, couple hundred grand, your first million, someone else is going through what you went through or went through it already. And
Right.
just learning that you're not alone, really helps out. Learning, who to talk to for different problems, who not to talk to.
Right.
Those are all the things that, I take now I'm at a different level where my business is doing a lot more money. I have a lot of employees.
Right.
What worked for me before doesn't work now. The
Hmm.
Matt 2 years ago is not the Matt I'm going to be in 3 years. So learning how to adapt. Like you said, I took that class, that certification, because I wanted to learn something to implement. And I'm always taking classes, always trying to implement, always trying to see what's new. Because again, I know what got me here won't get me there, and
Right.
where I want to go, I need to learn a whole lot.
Awesome. There's actually a book, believe it or not, I read it. There is the title of a book. I can't remember the author, but it is a great book talking about the skill set of a leader who's gotten a level of success, but now you need to develop different skills to elevate to the next level. So good stuff. And I will say that a lot of people that I know that are successful have read and implemented the strategies in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Another great book. Some of the stuff I don't necessarily agree with the reason why they say it works, but I will tell you that if you implement any of the strategies from that book, they will work for you. Who cares why? Do the process and get the results.
If it works, it works.
It works. Yeah. So another thing is the John Maxwell certification. You probably can't get a better leadership development organization in the world than the Maxwell leadership team. And you've been through that. You have access. You really have, at this point, you have lifelong access to all their resources. I don't know if you've been on the,
I have.
platform in a while. Okay, good. So yeah, tons of resources are available. Constantly adding new training materials, and there's always an ongoing set of phone calls that you can get on and talk to mentors and other people. And there's a whole community online that you can access and just get help. Anything that I can think of, I can just throw it into a Facebook group and get 10 answers from people around the country and around the world, all giving me their their opinion, their experiences on it. So it's a great community to be part of. What would you say for people that are thinking about taking that leap from, I got a good, stable, secure job, but I feel that calling, I feel that thing. I'll tell you, when I left my stable job back years ago, I felt like if I stayed, I was going to explode. Like there was nothing wrong. Like everything was perfectly fine. Everything was perfectly normal. Everything was good. I was getting paid really well. But I just felt like this drawing. Like if I don't get out of here, I'm just going to pop. Right. So what would you say to somebody who's, let's say 25 years old and wants to take that leap into being an entrepreneur, other
I
than
would say,
get your head checked out?
yeah, I mean, again, the first thing I tell everybody is not for everybody. TikTok and Instagram, they make it seem like being a business owner makes you filthy rich. It's a lifestyle. It's something that's totally different. The people that enjoy it kind of enjoy pain, especially to when you start. It's not, you're not making money up front. It's
Right.
a different way of life. I I've, I mean, even at this point today, like there's days that I don't know how we're gonna make payroll. Where, I have 150 employees and I look at the bank account and there's like $2,000 and I'm waiting to make sure something goes in the next day.
Right.
So it's not for everyone. There's times where I'm
Right.
like, damn, if I would have stayed working, I might not have been as stressed as I am. But the freedom it's
Right.
created is totally different. If you follow me on an Instagram or a Facebook, it looks like I'm always on vacation. I do travel a lot. I definitely live a really good life. And if I
Yeah.
was doing line work, I wouldn't be able to live that life because I'd have to keep working. So there's
Right.
give and takes, but I would say to the person that's 25 and thinking about it, try it. What's the worst that could happen? You go back. I said it to myself. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this for a year or two and I'm going to basically go broke and spend all of my money. And if it don't work, I'll go back and be a lineman and be happy the rest of my life because I tried it
You
and I
tried
know
it. It
it
didn't work.
wasn't for me. So
Right.
that's what I kept telling myself.
And you haven't gone back. So it's
I
working.
haven't gone. I've been close, but I haven't gone back. Gone back. I mean, now I'm in the field, like with the flagging and the safety and stuff. So I'm there, but I'm not back as an employee.
Right. I'll tell you that there's always going to be voices, right? So every entrepreneur I know, there's always a period, usually a long period of time when the voices of people that you love and care about, and they love and they care about you, and they really truly mean well. They say, just go back to your day job, just go back to do that 9 to 5, like just it was stable, all your bills are paid every week, you knew that there was money coming in. Why don't you just go ahead and do that? And they mean well, but they're really speaking to themselves. They're saying, "Hey, listen, I didn't take the leap. You took the leap, and it's uncomfortable. Come back to the comfort zone." But no growth happens in the comfort zone. So I'm glad you took the leap. I don't think I definitely would not have known you if you didn't take the leap into entrepreneurial life. So I'm glad you took the leap. There's so many lives that are benefiting because of you and your companies and the services that you guys all provide to everybody. So in addition to the Think and Grow Rich, what are some of your other favorite leadership books that you've read?
Leadership. I mean, my favorite book is The
Or business
Alchemist.
or The Alchemist?
The
Okay.
Alchemist is my favorite book. I just like the story. Just I don't know, just the way it puts it together. Um, I'm not good on the spot. I probably listen to a book or two a week.
Yeah,
But you're asking me, and I'm gonna sit here and go deaf, dumb, and blind.
no problem.
um,
So tell us a point that you got. Do you remember any of the main ideas that you got from The Alchemist?
um, just to follow your dreams, just to go for it, and the last I think paragraph or whatever, or the last page, where where basically where he started was where he ended, and the gold, the riches was right there the whole time, but it wasn't
Mm,
about that. It was about the journey.
right,
And that's what sticks out to me because I say it to my partners and my friends all the time. Like, it's really not about the money, it's about the journey, the experience,
right.
like everything we get to do. Like, even when we're losing, it's like, who gets to do this? Who gets to experience this loss? And it whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, I listen to the book, and it picks me back up.
Picks you up again. So
Yeah.
one of the things, and you were there at Live to Lead when we spoke about this, but Jason Hardy, I don't remember him speaking at Live to Lead back in 2020. Where are we now? 2025. And he said, replace the I have to with I get to.
Like, that's
And
it.
it's a whole mindset shift. Somebody else said, replace I have to with I choose to. This is what I chose. I chose this career. I chose this. I get to do this. I have the opportunity. There's a whole lot of people who don't have the opportunity to do the things that we do. As difficult or painful or stressful as they are, there's no opportunity. So,
That's the
and
truth.
I'll tell you that, here in the US, there's probably literally billions of people around the world who would swap their situation in a heartbeat with us. Like they just give it all up and be gone. I'll take your stress. I'll take your everything. You could have my life here in this other country somewhere, and they would swap it out in a second. So, be grateful for the things that we have here. The fact that we have stress means that we have something to be stressed about. So
I agree.
enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. So let's take a look. Let's take a look forward in the future. What does the future hold? If you could paint the picture of your best future moving forward, how would that look?
So, I mean, I try to say like, okay, 10 years from now, we have our statements and all of that, and I try to compare everything to like what is the Matt 10 years from now gonna be doing? 10 years from now, AUS is $100 million company. We have 5,000 employees, and my goal is to take it and turn it into an ESOP and give the employees stock options.
Okay.
I don't need all that money. So I want to, when we get to 50 million, I want to turn it into a ESOP, basically let the employees buy into the company and let them be part of getting from 50 to 100 million.
Right.
That's really my goal for that. Um,
So how many states do you have to be in for that? That's beyond New York State,
East
right?
Coast. I would say East Coast. East Coast. The goal is really, to take AUS to that level and to take MJM to the where AUS is now. If MJM could get to the 10-15 million dollar mark, I'm kind of thinking that's maybe the legacy company that I pass on to the kids, since
Okay.
they'll be minorities. Um, it'll make that process easy because finding another minority company to buy would be a nightmare. So the MJM will be the legacy company. AUS will be the big company that makes a whole lot of people rich,
Right.
and probably be in the franchise game a whole lot more because I'll have a lot more money at that point. And again, feel good brands.
Yeah.
The door grooming, the Kona ices, anything that could feel good, I like.
Yeah.
But that would be more of a passion stuff rather than profit driven.
Right. So now, so how many employees does AUS have now? 150.
So it's a little complicated because it changes daily. We go from about 90 to about 150. We just want a job that starts next month, so we'll probably be running about 120 for the rest of the year.
Right.
But it fluctuates.
And you want to get up to 5,000.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to require leadership development, right? So that's up your alley as well, especially with the John Maxwell brand. Of course, if you need any help with that, you know where to find me.
I do.
Um, so, but how do you develop enough leaders to oversee those 5,000 people and keep them all safe, on time, representing your brand properly, doing the right thing for the customers, getting those raving fan reviews from customers, repeat business, right? Keeping the name a good, solid name.
I mean, again, the systems, the processes, the culture. One of the things that, I've been harping on recently is we've been hiring and training and moving people up the system, which has
Right,
worked till now. But to get to that 5,000 employee level, we're going to have to start hiring experience to teach us what we don't know, because it's going to, condense the time frames, because we want to do something now. We go in, we learn how to do it. We start from the bottom, we make all the mistakes. To get there in 10 years, I'm going to have to hire and partner and get the people that have made the mistakes to, condense that so we don't make them again. So that's, again, we want to promote the people that are within, the people that have the right culture, but also hire from the outside to help us get there faster.
right. Gotcha. So what do you think the market is like if you're able to do this all across New York State? if you were to really just take over the market in New York State, how big would that make you? Like from the 100, let's say the 120, 150 that you have right now, if you were to really just be the primary player throughout all the state, what would that
I
bring you up
mean,
to?
we're already the primary player.
In the whole state? Yeah.
But we're getting there. I would say it would get us to the $20 million mark. It depends, we're in the electric side of the work right now. If we start going after more of the construction side, the road construction, it would probably get us to the 30-40 million dollar mark. So there's enough runway here, runway in New York for a while.
Right. All right. So breaking into those other markets, getting known in those other places, and getting those jobs and getting those under your belt. If there's any kind of difference in strategy or anything, that would be key to know. And then of course in the other states, every state has its own regulations, laws, paperwork, whatever kind of stuff. So every state that you open up into, there's a whole process of legalizing everything, operations in that state. So finding, I guess, people that would know that stuff in that state, and then opening up a new branch. So what's your next
Yeah.
state that you want to dig into? Would it be Connecticut or New Jersey?
So it's probably going to be Pennsylvania,
Okay.
just because there's a lot of work there and they have easier work rules. But Connecticut is very similar to New York, and New Jersey is usually a lot more complicated than New York. So if work came
Hmm.
there, we might do it. But again, Pennsylvania is probably like the next target market.
Okay. So we're looking at how many different states do you want to be in? If you say the whole East Coast, looking at 10 states,
Uh,
20 states, eastern
I'm
half of the
probably
country.
I would say a good 10 states. There's some good states on the East Coast. We probably won't ever go to Maine because they're usually lower paid.
Yeah.
But I could foresee us being down in Florida because Florida has a lot of work, and they're always building, and there's definitely a market down there. So I would say from Florida to here and spread out in different states.
Yeah. There's a lot of growth down south, especially from New Yorkers moving south because it's just so expensive to live here. So, South Carolina, a lot of growth down there, North Carolina, um,
Exactly,
Georgia,
exactly. So
Pennsylvania.
that's kind of our bread and butter right now is that we figured out how to deal with the unions. A lot of the companies down south don't have the unions to deal with.
Right.
They're scared of the unions. We're not. So they always say like the work that they get is a lot easier, but we're scared to just reach outside our comfort zone right now. So eventually we'll get there, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Awesome. So anything else that you want to leave our listening audience with? So if you're listening and you're in one of these other states, you need Matt's services, definitely contact him. Maybe he may not be able to do it immediately, but definitely would be a good contact to have going forward. So let's just put your contact information up there again. So mjmultimate.com and Matt Rivera at mjmhomeservice.com. Get a hold of Matt Rivera in any of the states on the East Coast that if you need his services, at least have a conversation with him. If he can't figure it out himself, he'll find the right person for you to figure it out. And eventually down the road, he will be the right person to take care of those things in those states. If you're anywhere in New York State in the construction, road construction, electrical, building construction as well, like buildings for security, stuff like that. So those services, definitely want to get a hold of Matt Rivera. And if you just want to chat with somebody who's a hard worker and got grit and knows how to grind, and Matt's a great guy to talk to. So definitely reach out for that. Any other parting words that you have for our audience, wisdom, insights that you haven't given yet?
Yeah, I mean, just that again, if you're gonna do it, do it. And to get to the levels that I want to get to most levels, you have to find a team, trust your team. My team, I'll throw up against the best in the world because I think we're right there with them. Um, you
That's awesome.
know, and that's what I think super important. Like if you go into business, the beginning of the business, you're usually creating a job. It's just creating an income for yourself. But as you start to scale, that's when you start to hire. You have to have trust in your team. You can't do everything. No matter
Right.
what business it is, you're going to hit that level where you're maxed out, and now it's just a job again. Where
Right.
having the team behind you, learning how to trust people, learning how to delegate. That's super, super important.
Yeah. Yeah. And checking your ego at the door, right? So a lot of people, it's ego. It's all pride and ego. I'm going to do it all. I will do it all myself. I don't trust anybody to do it all as I do. But that, throw that in the garbage. It's not helping anybody. Get people that know what they're doing and trust them as well as equip them, right? So one of the challenges that I see a lot of people have is they're like, I delegate and it just falls to the ground, right? I'm like, well, you just handed it off. You didn't prepare the person to take on that responsibility. So either you didn't find the right person or you found the right person, but you just didn't prepare them with expectations, clear communication, clear guidelines, clear culture. So having that right culture based upon core values, understanding what our mission is as a company, staying focused on our vision, where we're going, and having people that are in that same line and that same mindset, they can now execute. They understand the root reasoning behind the decision making. So if you entrust them with something, they're going to stay mission focused. If you prepare people properly, then you can trust them, and then they do the job for you. And you have multiple people carrying the weight, and they're all moving the same direction. And that's what makes business scalable. If you can't do that, you can't scale your business. So what I see is people grow their business, they hit a plateau, and the headache at that plateau is just too hard. They haven't developed enough good leaders, and they have to downsize the company. A lot of people will shrink their company in half, and the idea is it was just easier when I had half the
Yep.
people. So I cut half my team off, I cut half my customers, and life is better. It's easier. Great. That's for that person. But if you're the scale person, you're gonna need to have a system of developing good leaders in there. The more leaders you can develop with the right systems um, and the right mindsets based upon the same core values, the better they're going to carry the load, the better you're going to be able to scale your business. So Matt, thank you so much once again for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Hopefully your phone starts ringing, and well, at least your email starts coming in, your website starts getting pinged a lot more from our listening audience. So if you have anything to reach out to Matt, reach out to him. If you want to be on this show, please give me a holler at info@beauchampteam.com. Once again, my name is Joe Beauchamp. My company is Beauchamp Team Growth Solutions. We do leadership development for businesses. We help their leadership teams develop and help them to understand what does a good leader look like, sound like, and how do they lead properly to grow their team. So that's what we do. If you need that services, give us a holler down. Reach out to us at beauchampteam.com or info@beauchampteam.com. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on episode 12 of the International Leadership Podcast. We hope that you all got some good value out of today's show, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kevin, thank you. Thanks to the audience. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching our podcast of the International Leadership Podcast. Once again, my name is Joe Beauchamp, president and founder of Beauchamp Team Growth Solutions. That's beauchampteam.com. If you like this episode, please like it, share it, subscribe to this channel. If you're interested in being a guest or a sponsor of this program, please give me an email at info@beauchampteam.com. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it and discuss options and how it can work something out for everyone to win. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye.